Hello, everybody. This is Polk Nation without Heishward. No, he didn't get another job, everybody. None of that. Let's not start that. He's winging his way back right now from San Diego after the basketball season is now officially ended. Matt Bonnette is kind enough to join us.
Wait, hang on.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. All right, so here's the Bonnette world.
Yeah.
I was told Matt Bonnette was going to take a couple days off. So you go to baseball for 3 straight days?
Yeah,
What's the day off?
Well, the women, with the women winning, the Cowgirls winning, and going to San Diego. So baseball SID, Morgan Guidros, she was with them. She's the Cowgirls creative person. So, hey, send her out there, let her get some experience and enjoy the time as well. So
and enjoy the beach. They were right by.
Absolutely.
At the University of San Diego, they played San Diego State, but they played at the University of San Diego because San Diego State was hosting the regional. They're right on the beach.
Right, yeah, you said they were right there.
They're right by the beach. It's a beautiful, and that is San Diego is a great city if you ever get to go there. But okay, Matt, this is I want to ask you about your trip.
Yeah.
To Oklahoma City because you become really a TV producer almost. Because you're telling people like Chris Webber and Andy Katz the storylines for this team.
Yeah.
What's that experience like?
It's great, being able to tell the story of these guys and just kind of educate them on our team. The good thing is I did have a conversation with the play-by-play guy, Brandon Gowden, probably about 45 minutes, talked to him on I guess it was Monday. Mm-hmm. And so it was a good conversation there, but that was the first time I got to talk to Chris Webber and Andy Katz. But yeah, just tell the story of the guys and what this team is like and pretty much what each player can do, what their strengths are, and how this team plays and stuff. And of course, they got Coach Armstrong over there talking to them as well. He knows a little bit more about the team than I do, but they want to be able to see it from the SID viewpoint as well, because sometimes I know what they're looking for.
Yeah, what they're looking for, what interests them, and they're looking for storylines.
Right. Yeah.
Because unlike the big schools,
yes,
they don't have as the familiarity with the McNeeses and that.
Right.
It's not like in the last couple of years they obviously knew the Will Wade story and that, but this is a new group of guys to where it's and McNeese has an interesting story of being one of 2 teams that won 3 straight conference championships. Only Akron. McNeese is the only mid-major I can find, and I looked back to have 12 seeds 3 years in a row.
Exactly.
So there's something in it that there's a general interest of McNeese that is not a usual mid-major.
No, exactly. I think something is started 3 years ago, something special, and the great thing about what's happening here is that there's a buy-in, and it's like keep it going.
I
think we're going to see that as well during the off season, where you're going to talk to Coach Armstrong in a little bit about retaining some of these guys or all of them.
Yeah.
So I think if you can do that and the success McNeese has had over the years, you've got players that are looking and they can see, hey, I can get to the big dance going to McNeese. So it's great. It's wonderful not only for the university but for the community as well.
Yeah, and talking to the people that travel with McNeese now, because it is a huge group of people, they're starting to see that the investment isn't just one Will Wade guy, that there is some continuity, there is some stability in the program, and this thing can go up, and then you see it with the women's program.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice crowd that followed him to San Diego. A really good crowd that went to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
The Spirit Squad, the band, the cheerleaders went with them. So it's great. I think something really good is happening here, and it's not just a one-time deal. I believe there's something that truly is going to be built into. Who knows what it can be built into.
Well, obviously, money is a big issue with it, but there seems to be a commitment from the people that in the NIL and that want to keep it going, and want to build, and that is the important thing because reality is that's what sustains programs.
Right. Absolutely.
It's not players and that it is the money. If you can make it so these kids see that they can get in the NCAA tournament, they can get good exposure, they can get good coaching, and they can make their money. Now all of a sudden you've got a formula that the kids are going to say, hey, look, I had 2 great years at McNeese. You should go there.
Absolutely. And you touched on it. We had I think, counting the conference championship game, I think we had 3-4 games on national TV in the regular season.
Yeah.
and then you tie in the conference championship game, and then the NCAA tournament game. Now you're getting even more exposure. So it is a place to go to. Great coaching, a great staff, a great support staff, community support. We averaged 3,300 fans a game this year, first in the Southland Conference. I believe our capacity percentage was right around 76%, which was top 30 in the country, filling the arena. So it is a place. I mean, they'll probably get some flack over this, but it's a basketball school now. It's a basketball school in the sense of the exposure, national exposure, I should say. It's that point.
It is because of the NCAA tournament, because of the games that were played, and some of them were here. 3 of the games that were played were here.
Yes.
On CBS and ESPN and that. It does turn the frame of two. People know what McNeese is now, which 4 years ago they didn't know anything about McNeese basketball.
No, not at all.
That's
not taking not a slight against football. I mean, football is always the South. It's football, but basketball has gotten McNeese. We saw it last year after the win, what it did to the university.
Yeah,
the website crashed.
Yeah,
so things are going great.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bill Armstrong about the ride of his first year and also the second year after this on Polk Nation.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinand. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinand Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
Back, we're joined now by Cowboys head coach Bill Armstrong, and Coach Armstrong coming off the NCAA tournament trip and everything. I mean, a great year for the Cowboys, 28 wins. I guess your first year, just kind of go through and put it in perspective how special this year was for you.
Oh, man, I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try. For my first year as a head coach, which that alone, to be able to be a Division I head coach and run my own program is something that I've dreamed of for a long, long time. And then to be able to do that with such a great group of young men and a great staff and everybody just working together to win 28 games and a historic season in the sense of being a first Southland team to get 12 seed 3 consecutive years. Then to go to the tournament and represent the Southland. It wasn't the outcome we wanted, but I thought we represented them well. And man, just dream after dream coming true throughout the year. And but the most important thing was just who you get to spend that with and who you get to do that with. And we just had such a great group of guys. They were a joy to coach every single day. Didn't feel like work, man. Got to get up and do what I love doing each and every day. And I don't know, it's storybook. I don't know if Jim could have written it better. I know I couldn't.
I couldn't have. But the interesting thing about you guys is this year is the game itself was a pretty well played game. You get to within 3, you take a big lead early, you get to within 3, then again, and then all of a sudden you missed some shots, and that you had about 3 shots that looked like they were going down and didn't. The 2 Garcia threes especially. So you weren't that. It looks like 10 points, but you weren't that far off.
No, I mean it definitely wasn't a 10-point game. We had to try to foul there at the end to prolong the game, see if we could get a couple turnovers, maybe throw a couple threes in to get back in the game there in the last minute. But, we were in the game. I think it was a 5-point game with around a minute 40 or maybe an 8-point game. But we just couldn't, down the stretch, couldn't finish at the rim, couldn't make an open shot. And, that happens to us sometimes. That happens to everybody. But, you got to give Vandy credit. Their length and physicality bothered us at the rim. We've been good at that all year, and we've kind of been up and down shooting the ball all year, but I thought we are able to get off to a great start shooting it, which allowed us to get our defense in the game. And you've watched us play every game. You know how it is. Like, we couldn't score enough I thought our press bothered them a little bit. We turned them over some, but more, I just think it took them out of rhythm, and we just couldn't get enough baskets to be able to get into our press enough there in the second half.
First-year coach to go there. You had all the media, you had everything you had to do. What was the one experience that you'll remember most about it?
Man, probably walking into the practice for the first time and really seeing that we're here, we've done this, and being able to have that practice in front of the fans and the media and things like that. And then walking into the game, walking that tunnel down to the game, knowing that you're getting ready to play an NCAA tournament, something that you've dreamed about your entire life. Those things I remember. During the game, you're so locked in and focused on that. I could probably bring up every play, but you're not really thinking about it at the time. But you're taking it all in during those times, and that was fun.
I did have someone tell me that was at the practice, the open practice. They said they kind of watched you a little bit, and you walked on the floor, and then at one point you just kind of stopped and you had a smile on your face. Yeah. So you did take it in. You did make sure to take it in yourself, just for that, maybe for that one moment.
For sure I did. And I tried to be conscious of doing that. I wanted our guys to be conscious of doing that. I think that helps you, when the game gets here, to kind of relax a little bit, for lack of a better word, or just be in the moment. I've always believed in living in the moment and being able to. Why do we work so hard and do everything that we do if we can't enjoy those moments? And I wanted to enjoy it for a few minutes. Be able to have my family there, and all of them were able to come to practice and see something. They know how hard we've worked, how hard they've worked, and all the sacrifice that they've made for us to be able to be here. My wife says it all the time when I thank her, and she's just, it's not my dream, it's our dream as a family that we've been pursuing for the last 20 plus years, and just to see it all come to fruition right there in that moment, it was a pretty cool thing.
And then Jim kind of touched on it a little bit, but you've been there before as an assistant coach, first time as a head coach, the difference being a head coach and assistant coach being at the big dance.
Yeah, I think like I told T-Bob on the show, the more the difference is that everybody now wants to talk to me as opposed to the head coach. But, knowing that every decision lies on you, and then every decision you make could be the difference between winning and losing, which then could be the difference in, futures. So, and that's all year as a head coach. I don't know that anything changed with that, but, just knowing that it's something that you've always wanted to do, to be able to make those decisions, to be able to lead your team, to try to win an NCAA tournament game, and just being a part of the NCAA tournament was something really, really awesome.
For a mid-major program, how special was it to see the crowd that showed up for McNeese? I mean, it's bigger than Vanderbilt's crowd. It was bigger than it wasn't as big as Nebraska's.
That's okay, though.
The entire
that
state
was incredible.
was there.
Yeah.
But just mid-majors don't do that usually.
No,
what was that like?
Oh, it's what makes this job the best mid-major job in the country. I don't know how many teams out of a mid-major league have made 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments, but I know that we now have, and that's a huge part because of that crowd and because of the support we have here in Lake Charles and our fans and everybody that's a part of this program. And they all showed up and showed out. And I thought that certainly gave us a huge boost, man. We're making those early shots, and that crowd's going crazy. They kept us, they got us going. They kept us in the game, and they always have throughout year, and we were just excited to go out there and represent them the best that we could.
Yes, and the Nebraska guys behind you too in the early going. You had to keep them out of the bar in the second half is what you had to do.
Yeah, I wish we could have done that, maybe put out a PA announcement or something. I tried to talk to as many of them as I could when we first got there, tell them to stay. I was like, I know you guys are probably going to want us to win, so y'all stay here and be loud for us. But our crowd was tremendous. Like you said, that's just so rare. I think maybe at times people could take that for granted, but we certainly don't, and we're very appreciative.
I mean, you definitely had the biggest crowd in the shoot-around.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
That was awesome.
Everybody's there in the shoot-around. I'm like, why are these people here? It's only a 40-minute shoot-around. When we get back with Bill Armstrong, we're going to talk about next year's team and the future after this on Poke Nation.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
Back with Bill Armstrong, who has the most wins for a rookie first-time coach in McNeese history. Will Wade beat you in the first year, but for his pure rookie coach, you got the record.
I got the record now.
So, okay.
I would say Will did not beat him in the first year.
He had 30. Well, no,
he
it's true.
didn't.
Will didn't
That's
have
right.
the 7. Yeah, that's true. We don't want to get technical.
We don't want to get technical with that. That's our guy. I appreciate you saying
Actually,
that.
the only time we got technical with that one was I don't know
Coach,
you
if
ever
you're
heard-
watching, we're not getting technical.
Right. He came in and had the 23 plus. What do you say?
Right.
23
That was so
plus?
awesome.
Yes.
And when he got to 23 plus, I said, well, technically.
Yeah. My mom has that saved on her phone when she's having a bad day. She just plays that. Gets her going, man. That was awesome.
But we've already seen. I've talked to some of the players, and they really want to. They would like to stay if they can and run it back. That's really important at this level because we've already seen RGV lost its coach and 3 players. SFA's losing 3 players. I mean, how important is that for mid-majors to be able to keep that? Because that seems to be the formula for a real run the second year.
I mean, there's nothing more important than that. To be able to keep your core group together, all your guys together, which we could do and are certainly going to try to do. If and when we're able to do that, I believe that, man, we could be some. I think we got a vote in the last top 25 AP.
Yeah,
we may get a lot more than 1 if that were the case in the preseason.
Because that's not the mid-major that we're seeing now. It's almost a rebuild
Exactly. Every year, based off of how the rules are and how things are now in the climate of today's college basketball. But so if we're able to do that, and I believe we have a great chance of doing that, the guys love it here, and they love each other, man. I think that shows on the court. And that'll give us a huge advantage going into next year from what we can do from a development standpoint. How deep, because when you have to start over every year, you have to get back to the basics of your system. Well, all that's in now, and if we were able to bring back 8 or 9 guys, we could really take a deep dive into everything, and from an individual development standpoint, from an offensive and defensive standpoint of adding things that we want to do, and it just gives us a huge advantage for next year.
Well, that's the one thing you said. The one interesting thing to me that you said the most was you could develop their individual talents.
Yep.
Which we could see that going the year you got to it a little bit, but to see the jump in the next 3 months where you're not worried about anything, not worried about packaging the team together, not getting everybody on the same page, that's a huge step.
Well, it works that way both ways for us and them. We can start April 7th or 8th or whatever it is the rules allow us to start, and have, I think, the rest of the semester, and then we're all there. They all know where they're going. There's no anxiety of recruiting. There's no anxiety from us to have to recruit a bunch of new players, and we can all focus on not only their development, but how, as a staff, we can focus on and put more time into how are we going to develop their needs. From an on-court, off-court, meaning watching film, teaching them how to do little things that's going to make them better that you usually, nowadays, you don't have time to do because you don't get to keep kids as long.
And then you look at that of the returners, you bring them the 8 or 9 back, 4 of them will be starters, and you take a look at that. And then also, as the season went along, you could see all these guys improving as it went along, and even if you got to the point when Garcia was out for the 4 games, you had multiple guys step up and take over the reins, so to speak. So obviously, you get these guys back next year, it's just going to be just keep building on
right,
success.
and that's the thing that you don't get to do very often. It's why it could be a special year for us, a special situation if we're able to do that, because we can build as opposed to having to kind of lay the foundation with these guys and build throughout the year. We can start building from day one because they all know the foundation of our system.
Now, I know a lot of the talk recently, over the past week, with a lot of the high major head coaches has been the mid-majors and the scheduling and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of explain how difficult it is for a school like McNeese to schedule some of these high majors.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult, I get it from both vantage points. I was in a high major for a long time, so I understand. I've heard all the back and forth from the coaches, and one coach said, if those mid-major coaches get to this high major spot, then they're going to do exactly what we do, and that's probably true. Everybody's trying to do what's best for their program, but it is extremely hard for us to be able to schedule high major teams, but I understand why at the same time. So hopefully, the best thing for everything to me is conversation, and open, honest conversation about it, and trying to figure out what's best for the game of basketball and the game of college basketball specifically for us. So hopefully some of this conversation will spark more conversation to where we can play high major teams, and that high major teams will want to play us.
And of course the relationships you have as well, coaches all across the country, like, hey man, do me a favor, let's go, get us in.
Yeah, I can't get the only ones I can get to do that is probably the best team ever assembled in Michigan. They don't like me that much to do with those favors, but I'll certainly try to work that in.
But you're not going to get a lot of mid majors into this building.
No, and that would be the one thing that I would say, to all the mid major coaches out there that are looking for good games. Well, why don't we play each other? Why don't you guys come to Lake Charles? I mean, that's a quad 2, quad 1 opportunity for you. We're welcome to anybody who wants to do that.
And there is some talk in the league that you're going to package together a weekend where you play another league too. I've heard that, so that would help too.
For sure,
like an OVC or something.
And that helps with scheduling. But I'm talking about more like the High Point, Miami of Ohio, Belmont, all those teams that we're talking about, and us. I'm including us in that, trying to get high major games. Or quad. Really, it's about getting quad 1 and quad 2 games, because in the end, that's what the discussion's about, right? They haven't had enough opportunities to get that, to help their seed line, or to get in that large. So, what if High Point came here and then we came there the next year? That's a quad 1 or quad 2 for both of us.
Well, you got North Texas next year, or Texas?
Yeah, we're at North Texas next year, and at ULL.
Yeah, so you got some sort of. Notice Gonzaga no longer plays the mid majors, by the way, either. Often, so. They used to be the ones complaining about it the most, and now they don't play them.
And
so.
with the way the conference keeps improving, I mean, you had 2 you had two teams, quad one or quad two, I should say.
Yeah.
The win over Stephen F. in the championship game was a quad two win.
It really was. And so when you go on the road, I mean, we're going to be a top 75 team. So when you go on the road, if you were to come into Townsville Arena and play us, it would be a quad one opportunity for you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we'll see what you're like next year. We'll see what some of the pieces. You're still going to have to add some pieces either way, no matter how many kids come back. I'm sure you got eyes on a lot of kids. Do you look at what you didn't get last year and say that this is what we need, or are you looking just specifically to replace what you lose?
I think you got to look at, if we can get the whole team back, then you look at what we've lost. If, we're not able to do that, again, I'm in hopes that we can and believe that we can. But if for whatever reason we couldn't do that, then you got to kind of tweak it around who you do have coming back and how the pieces fit. I thought my staff did a great job of putting all the pieces together. It's not always just about recruiting the most talented players. The pieces have to fit, and I thought this year we did a really good job of making the pieces fit.
Oh, you did that to a 28-6 record, another 12 seed, which I think is amazing. 3 12 seeds in a row. Got to get an 11 seed next year.
That's right. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
We'll talk with Matt a little bit more after this. And thanks, Coach, for the year, and thanks for all your help this year.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Right.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
We're back, and this is going to be a quick segment here with Matt Bonnette, and I'm going to ask you about this football.
Yeah, football.
We've touched basketball. With football, this is the final week,
right?
Which is interesting because they're going to get done when other teams are just starting. LSU's just starting, UL's just starting. They're going to get done early, which gives them a little extra time, I think. But Saturday is the final scrimmage.
Yep.
What do you expect to see? What do you want to see? And what do you know?
Sad to say, I don't know much. I mean, being with basketball, I haven't had the opportunity to go out there as much as I'd like to. Really,
yeah,
I mean, it's been crazy with basketball. But I do know that the scrimmage I did attend 2 weeks ago, it was a very physical scrimmage.
It was
a lot of energy out there, and I think with this team and what I've talking to some of the coaches, this team is different from last year's. It's like this year's team. They're together. They're all bought in. They're all good kids. They work hard. They compete hard, and there's a lot of talent out there.
There is some talent. They brought in some talent.
Yeah, so it ought to be a fun spring game. What that game's going to look like, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to split it up yet into two teams and play an actual game, or if it's going to be a scripted scrimmage type thing.
Well, I want to see more scripted because I don't want to see guys get hurt.
Right.
You don't want to lose a guy this late in spring.
Exactly.
But I do say this, with Tyler Bolfing in his second year, it'll be interesting to see the steps the offense can make because he called plays for the first time last year. Let's see how it evolves. They're talking about it evolving quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those years where you could see the the Cowboys get back to competing like they have been before in conference play. You've got some experience out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the keys is going to be the offensive line, which always is.
And the depth of an offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. Depth of offensive line. But the linebacker core looks really good. The defensive linemen they brought in look really good. The wide receivers, quarterbacks.
The running backs
looked really good that first scrimmage. So, yeah, I mean, I think they have a lot to build on after this spring. They'll continue with their install, so to speak, and they're working out and everything and getting ready for fall camp, which is going to be here before we know it. I mean, you got the first game is at the end of August.
Yeah.
So
and they're playing 12 now every year.
Playing 12, and it's going to be against a defending conference champion.
Yeah.
And conference opener against
and
Stephen
who is
F.
quickly becoming the rival of this school
Right.
and everything.
Absolutely.
And the scrimmage is 10:30 on Saturday.
Yes, and it is open to the public.
It is open to the public. It'll be at Navarre Stadium, so check it out. We'll see you next week on Poke Nation.